all comes from really doing your own due diligence. This is your money. You should be taking care of it. Definitely do your research before you listen to anyone out there on social media. And I do want to bring you the perfect example of what's, one of the things that's been going on with the whole Binance thing, switching off to a different platform. A lot of misinformation around that, and a lot of people just capitalizing on, the lack of information, or maybe just the lack of people doing their own research and the naivety of some folks out there. So definitely want to shed some light on that kind of stuff that's been going on. It really bothers me when I see that. So as I said, one of the biggest reasons for this channel is to try and decipher through a lot of that crap in the crypto maze. So I'm also going to do the traditional TA, show you guys where we're at. We did close a weekly candle just a few hours ago. I'll tell you what that means and what to expect. Definitely do share the video if you find it educational, if you find something of value. Share it with your friends, your family. Let people know that we're here, and this is again a very educational channel, and we just want to speak the truth. And through the research that I do, the time that I spent, I want to share that knowledge with you guys and make sure that you don't get punked or you don't get misled with a slew of bad information. So without further ado, let's look at the market. We're currently trading at 69 billion 24-hour volume, and market cap is at 321 billion. Bitcoin is having a stronghold in the market. We did dip down from 60% dominance to 59%. Not a big deal, 1 percentage point. Bitcoin is currently holding 189, almost $190 billion of that market cap here, as you can see here, 59%. So definitely a good thing for Bitcoin. Not so good for the altcoins. One of the things I do want to mention real quick. One of the things that you hear this all the time, but I think still it's kind of worth mentioning. You hear it all the time. I've been recently seeing it more and more that people are actually saying that alt season is coming. You definitely want to make sure that you don't listen to these people. Um, the alt season will come when it comes. Right now, in my opinion, it's not the time. Um, if you're in Bitcoin, you're doing a great thing. Keep doing it. If you're in Ethereum, keep doing it. If you're in Litecoin, there's some good reasons behind why Litecoin is doing as good as it has been. In fact, it's definitely been outperforming pretty much every other altcoin out there, except for Bitcoin. That's even debatable too. And also, just higher market cap coins. Don't go into the third or fourth page of coin market cap and just pick something, or because a guy in a forum told you, hey, coin number 483 is going to 10x, and it's got the fundamentals, it's a hidden gem, and it's going to take off. We're nowhere near that, in my opinion. Based again on my opinion, I've been trading this market for a while. I used to be a certified financial planner, certified financial advisor for one of the largest insurance companies. I used to hold my 6 and 63 with FINRA. I was registered agent. So, trust me when I say it's really not the time to be investing in heavily in altcoins. Again, stick to the top 10, top 15, maybe top 20. There might be some decent coins in the top 20, but don't venture out too far, especially if you're new in this market. Definitely do your research. Spend some time reading, finding out what products are, or what tokens are about, who's leading the projects, what are they doing, are they solving a problem, do they have any contracts, do they have relationships, viable relationships in the market, are they partnered with X, Y, and Z company like Microsoft, stuff like that is going to tell you pretty good information about a project. So definitely do research, read up on things before you do decide to invest. Unless you have unlimited amount of reserves and you could just throw it away and this is fun for you, then this message is probably not for you. Taking a sip of water here. So let's get into the nitty gritty. We'll start with the Bitcoin TA. And I just posted this chart on my Twitter. So if you want to look at it and you want a picture of it, go to my Twitter at the Real Shot 256. It's right here. Just posted it minutes ago, 7:55 p.m. Eastern Pacific time. So go to my Twitter. It's right there. Just click on this link here. It'll take you right to it. Just click on the link. Don't click on this. Click on the link because this will take you to TradingView. Um, so just posted this chart because I wanted to talk to you guys about why I think that Bitcoin is actually uh, doing a very similar run to what it did back in 2017. And, I don't see a stop yet in the near future. As long as Bitcoin continues to behave in the way that it does, I mean, look at the similarity here. You just can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Look at that right there. And look at this right here. Right. So these two main areas of focus, and then these lines here that I drew. So the blue line, so the blue line is what we're currently closing candles at on the weekly chart, right? Weekly chart, closing candles on the blue line. And then the orange lines above are the closing weekly candles from back in 2017. So this candle, I mean this candle here back in November 2017, and I also mean this candle here back in November 2017 as well. All right. So look at these look at look at the behavior right here, and look at this behavior right here. Okay. Uh, Retracement, boom. Retracement, boom. Just breaking out. Right now, this weekly candle is only about 3 hours old, right? So we've got a lot of time to close this candle, and I do think we're going to do something similar to this candle here. Okay, so watch out for that. Again, as I said in the beginning of the video, if you're in Bitcoin right now, you should be feeling pretty good. I do think we're going to come and retest. I don't know that we're going to have another weekly candle such as this one here. It's just too early in this market and what I mean by this is we just left or we just exited this bear market, this low of 3,000 here that was set back in December
January of
2018,
2017.
and then we
Almost 4
started
years
this
later.
gradual uptrend into
Ellie
what we are
was
now,
running up and down the
at
court
almost
at halftime, playing with
11,500
all the
was
girls
the high sometime
running up and down
today.
the bleachers. And we played all
11,470 you
night.
could say, somewhere around there, 450. Um, so again, going back to this, another similarity that
Around
I
10
do see
o'clock,
here
she
is
woke up telling me
closing
that
this
it was
candle
over.
here.
And I thought, well, she won.
Look at the separation between the 30 simple
She's
here.
always been a
Okay,
very yielding
that's
child.
another similarity. So we've got three. We've got this behavior here,
Because
this
she's
behavior
always
here.
around boys
We've
and
got
big
the
tough.
closing so tight
She
together
came to her.
on
I tried
consecutive
everything.
candles,
I
and
massaged her
I
legs,
mean, just the
Pilates feet,
behavior overall in this area
everything. And
looks
she looked at me and
very
she said, "Mommy,
similar to
please
this
help me."
behavior over here, and we're
So
going right.
I didn't.
We
I
just
waited
opened
a
up
little
another
bit. She went to
weekly candle, and
Children's
we could
Hospital.
be doing this again.
They took her
Okay,
straight back,
so
and the doctor did some tests.
and then again,
And
another similarity is
he came
we're
in. He talked
way,
to me, and he
way
said,
above
"Her
the
X-ray looks
30. I mean,
great.
look
Her
at the
blood work
gap
looks
in
normal.
between the 30
However, I
simple
don't want you to
and the
leave yet
opening of
because
this
there's
weekly
two
candle.
more tests, and
Look
I'm
at the
waiting on them
gap
that aren't back."
between
And
this
at
weekly
8:30, the
candle
new doctor
and
comes
the
in.
30 simple. And we see it
Once
again
he
here in
looked at us,
this week.
all the tests were highly
Huge,
suspicious and
huge
everything
gap.
went
That
normal.
30 simple has a lot of ground to
That was the
cover.
worst moment of my life.
Same as it did back here.
Ellie
And
froze again.
so you have
She put her
another
hands on my
idea is
face
look at how we
and she
were
said, "Breathe,
back in the last bull
breathe."
run 2017, how we were so high above this
After
30,
this, they
and we
went to
continued this
attending
behavior
us at St.
for
Jude.
a very, very long
You
time.
know, when we got
Pretty
in,
much, we didn't lose the
she
30
said,
simple up until,
"I am mad
let's
at
see, the
you."
week
And I said,
of
"Why are you
June
mad at me?" And
15th.
she said, "Well, you have taken
Sorry
me to
guys,
the
this is
hospital
very
because of
annoying in the
cancer."
background.
So she
I like to bring you guys a little bit of music. for entertainment purposes, and that was just very annoying. Sorry. So look at the 30 simple here. We were above it the whole time until we lost it here back in um, January 15th, the week of January 15th in 2018. Right, we lost it and we remained below it and then we regained it here for a little bit, but then went right back underneath it. We regained it here and then lost it again over here back in May, and we just stayed above it for a long time. I mean, making some gradual, intermittent appearances above it, but then not really very Bitcoin, not very comfortable above it, and just coming back down underneath it. And we see here it started. I mean, just carrying it underneath, just below, and not letting Bitcoin do anything. And it just the massive dip back from late December until we saw that the culmination of what could be said the culmination of the bear market, right? And then right here we started regaining it, and we haven't looked back since pretty much right here. Actually, right here since the week of February 11th. We never looked back, and again, the same sort of behavior we see back then, we see here. So expect continuation. That is where I'm thinking. We did close the weekly candle here, this last weekly candle 3 hours ago at 10,906. Um, this candle here last 2017 closed at 11,165. Our high today, earlier today, was 11,4. We'll call it 450. I'm not exact on that measure there, but so again, very similar to what we did in 2017. So, and you know, um, another thing is, another thing is, it really is going to come down till there's no more buyers. This run, if you're hearing, oh, we're going to 12,000, we're going to 13,000, which I do believe to a degree that we are going to hit 12,000, we are going to hit 13,000. That those are very likely scenarios in my opinion. And in fact, let's bring out another tool. Bring out the fib and mess that one up pretty bad. We'll fix it here. So, okay. And here we go. We'll use the 20,000 that's because that was the high. So, so if you've been hearing that, we're going to 12,000, 15,000, 18,000, 20,000 again in this run, I wouldn't be prepared to call that yet, but I am going to say that 13,000, 12,000, these targets are pretty attainable. We're right below the zero point 0.5 here on the Fibonacci measurement tool. So we're I mean right below, and I mean, heck, technical analysis is telling us there is quite a bit of resistance. But remember what happens once we pierce through that level, through the zero point 0.5, it is going to turn into support, and then that could propel us into the 382, which is sitting at 13,447. Voila. This stuff, sometimes technical analysis will work, sometimes it won't. I mean, if you're looking for a um, for a crystal ball that will tell you the number, you're probably in the wrong channel. You probably need to go look up a fortune teller or a psychic or somebody like that. This probably is not the channel for you. Man, pretty thirsty as usual. But that this target is definitely attainable in my mind, especially where we closed this last weekly candle. We closed at about 10,000. I told you guys, I think it was Friday night when Bitcoin broke out into the $10,000 range. I did a video and I was telling you guys I am going to look for a weekly candle close above 10,000, and I mean, we just crushed that goal, right? I said if we wanted to stick around the $10,000 range, then we definitely need to close this weekly candle above it. I did think we were. I had pretty good. Um, I had a pretty good idea about it closing over 10 grand just because of what I was seeing in the charts. And I thought that we were going to do that, and boy, did we do it. I mean, we closed again. We closed this weekly candle at 10,906. I mean, almost just underneath 11,000. It being that we closed the candle below the 11,000 mark does not make me any bearish at all, at all. I mean, we were way above 10,000. I mean, the last weekly close before this candle was at 89.53. So I mean, well past, almost $2,000 in difference from one candle to the next. Hmm. Man, extra thirsty tonight. All right, so and again, take a look at this piece of information. I do let you guys know that stochastic is a momentum indicator more than anything. That's what I use it for. Look at that. I mean, it's been in the overbought position or area zone here for, gosh, I mean, since the week of February 18th, and we're still above it. It touched the line, the bottom of the bullish zone here, and then it looks like it just did a cross to the upside on last week's weekly candle when we did this massive run up to almost, what is it, 11,500. So we did get a cross up. So guess what, guys? I do think again momentum is pointing towards this sort of candle here for next week. That's what the chart is telling us. Don't short it, don't fight it. That just go with it for now. The trend is your friend till the end of the trend. When does the trend end? It really ends when there are no more buyers. Right here, there were no more buyers at this point at 19,852. Buyers just disappeared off the market, off the face of the earth, and look at what happened the very next week. Right, we came down all the way to 13,000. We found a lot of buyers there, and came back all the way up to 17,000 again, and then we lost all of our buyers at that point, and we lost. We didn't find any more buyers until 11,000. So again, it doesn't have to do with the news. It doesn't have to do with futures market,
Nest Hub.
with the opening of futures market and shorting Bitcoin. It doesn't have to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with buyers and sellers, supply and demand. The last seller and the last buyer. Yeah, that's how you get cycles. That's how you call cycles. So same thing down here. We had the last seller right here. That was the last seller. We found buyers at that point, and we found a lot of buyers since. Okay, so really really hope that these words do stay with you, because you're gonna find that it is gonna you're gonna find that it's gonna be a lot easier trading Bitcoin cryptocurrencies if you keep these things in mind. In my opinion, these are some of the things that have worked for me. Um, Again, it doesn't mean that I'm always going to be right or 100% right in everything that I say, but it has worked out for me so far. So I am going to stick to it. All right, let me know what you guys think so far in the comments. If again, if you guys disagree or are seeing something that I'm not seeing, I always love to hear other people's opinions and ideas. So definitely leave that down below. Let's take a look at some altcoins. I'm not going to spend too much time on altcoins. It is Sunday, and there are other things that I want to do as well. Um, so let's look at Litecoin. We did have um, just open up a new weekly candle here, but let's take a look at the lower time frames. Pretty good retracement on Litecoin here. I sold some of my Litecoin up here around 140, actually 142, 143. Actually had two sell orders at about 142.50, 143, and it worked out pretty good. Now, um, we saw this dip. I mean, it actually, and I'm using the 3 hour candle because it does hold pretty good weight. It does call some of these moves pretty correctly. Also the 4 hour as well. We did pierce through the 55 here, so not bad. I mean, not a bad retracement. That's pretty good. In fact, not speaking to the hodlers out there. This is more for the traders, the people who love to buy and sell. And the rule of thumb there would basically be to sell the resistance and buy the support. We see Litecoin has been trading in this sort of wedge or channel here on this here, sort of a rising wedge, and see resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, same thing, right? So I did actually, full disclosure, like I said, I did sell some of my Litecoin at around 142, 50 and 143, and then I did pick up some recently here when I saw that it was hitting this level of support here down here. After it pierced through the 55, I did want to wait a little bit and see if it was going to pierce through this bottom of the wedge here that is also acting as support. And again, the TA sometimes, use it, guys. It does work. It tells you stuff. Uh, Price action is moving down below these moving averages, but it's going to find support, um, you know, throughout these moving averages. If it breaks them, look for the next line of support. Look for the next line of support. It's going to stop at one of these lines. It's going to stop at one of these level of support, and that's going to be your bottom, temporary bottom or local bottom, and then from there just buy the support. All right. So some TA 101 there for you guys. If you're interested in trading. If not, you can also swing trade. Longer terms. Maybe you bought, I don't know, somewhere here. Even if you bought at the peak of this run here, you're not doing so bad. Not doing so bad at all. And maybe you're still holding it. Again, not a bad thing. Litecoin has been leading this bull market since we started back in early April. Has been one of the biggest movers and outperforming pretty much every other altcoin out there. So Litecoin not a bad thing to hold right now. All right, so let's see. Am I missing anything? So the 4-hour RSI is telling us that we're in the bear territory. I do expect it, as we do bounce from this area here, as we do bounce from, we're currently at 135. We're in a big support area here. I do think it comes back above the 55 and then works its way up to this resistance line up here. As Bitcoin also, I'm also expecting Bitcoin to do another bounce. I mean, this doesn't mean that altcoins and Bitcoin can't retrace further down. It doesn't mean that at all. It can very well do that. Again, if there are more sellers than buyers, it's gonna do that. Not because CNN just posted something on Bitcoin and Bitcoin is bad and it's gonna cause a major sell. It's just the market being the market, guys. It's again, more sellers than buyers or more buyers than sellers. Uh, that's what it comes down to. So again, on the 4-hour, we're looking pretty tired, but also it looks like we're reaching the oversold area in the RSI. So we could potentially, again, as we start to bounce here, we could potentially have this blue line overtake the red line to the upside, and again, look for a bounce there if we do that. So watch the 4-hour RSI. Let's see what the 1 day is telling us. It's headed down too, so I mean, we could still, again, the daily holds a little bit more weight than the 4-hour, obviously. So I mean, we could still head down into this more, even more bearish. So we could see a further retracement here until we see this blue line overtake the red line to the upside. Then look, we could still dip. Again, I did enter and bought some more Litecoin at these levels at 135. Actually, right below 135, because again, it found some support right on this line. Look at that, right there. Actually, right above that, about 134 and some change is where I bought it. So again, look for those things, guys. They do work. They're there for a reason. These these lines of support, these EMAs, they do work sometimes. I want to look at BNB because I did enter a trade, and this one didn't go so well so far. So I also want to show you guys the, not just the good stuff, but all the bad stuff too. And not that it's bad; it's not terrible. It's just it was looking like it wanted to do something, and so far it hasn't done it. Let me show you guys what I mean here. So on the hourly, you can get granular and see some of these things. Am I looking at the hourly? Yes, I am. Am I looking at BNB? Yes, I am. So pretty good so far. I do want to take these. I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay, fine. That's fine. We'll do it without. So we do see this trend line here coming down. So it looks like it wanted to actually break to the upside. Bitcoin was going on another hike over the weekend, and it was going up to test some resistance again. And I looked at BNB, and it looked like it wanted to break out above this line here, and I wanted to catch it a little bit early because again, it looked like a breakout to me, but it actually did not happen. So I'm stuck with some BNB, but I do think overall, again, because longer term, I do think that we're going to bounce back from this dip. Not a major dip. I think we went down by like 5% overall, 5 or 6% maybe on Bitcoin. So I do think that eventually we're going to make our way back into those levels. So again, guys, you don't have to sell if you made a bad call. Don't have to. I mean, it's going to find some support and bounce right back up. Now, if I did see, I'll be honest with you, if I did see BNB breaking this line here, actually, that's not the one I'm looking for. Let's go in a 4 hour. If I did see Bitcoin breaking the 55 here, I probably would have sold some taken some risk off and probably sold like 50% of my bag, because again, it could bounce right below it. It's not always going to stop there and bounce right back. Sometimes you see it keeps going down, maybe to retest this area or this area, and then once we see the price pulling back up, then it's probably safer to enter. So I'm still holding it because I do believe BNB is a good project. They do have a couple of things working for them. They have a burn coming up in July 15th. We are in a bull market, and they are having this sort of. In fact, they just listed their last IEO. I believe it's logo or something like that. Um, you guys can go on Binance.com and check it out if you want to. But they just released their latest IE on the 22nd, and so they were having people hold the token for at least 7 days. So Binance always has good things going on for their customers, their trading platform. So I do believe it's a solid project. It is one of the top 10 coins for a reason. So again, I'm not feeling desperate here to sell at these levels here, not yet. Again, if we break the 55 and break the what is this here? This is my 89 exponential here in the aqua blue. If we do break this area here, then I probably will take some risk off and just wait and see what it does. Okay, so that's all I got for this guy. XRP. XRP did move pretty good over this past run, and it went back and retested previous highs to 50 cents, I believe here. Yep, 56. I mean, it was sort of a what do we want to call this? Just a breakout move, but not real conviction on this move. I mean, we did see a lot of selling pressure up above the 48 cents. A lot of sellers there, and so a lot of downward pressure here. We did find a little bit of support here, right underneath the 21. We actually bounced off the 100 simple here. Again, guys, these things are here for a reason, because look at the EMA, just, or actually this is simple 100. Look at the simple 100 just providing just textbook support there, and finding the low there and a lot of buying pressure from there. So again, I do think eventually we're going to turn back, and we're going to retest this 50 cents area here with XRP as well. It has been kind of sort of lethargic in the way that it's been moving recently with this, the last couple of months, but it has these late reactions that are very sporadic and unpredictable. Um, so um, so yeah, I mean, it's just really hard to call XRP right now as opposed to the last bull run. Um, XRP was one of the it was So XRP was acting like Litecoin is now back in 2017, where I mean XRP was just one of the coins, one of the hottest things, one of the hottest trending tokens. It was definitely something that at the time I was definitely holding. I watched it go from like 20 cents all the way to $3.35, $3.50, something like that. So I mean, it was definitely one of the hottest coins to be in. Not so much on this new um, run. I'm not going to call it a bull market, but these 2.5 month, 3 month long run here, it just hasn't been the same. But it's not to say that it is not, it's not acting positively. It is definitely is. I mean, looking at here, we are still setting some higher highs, so that's always also a good thing. Again, retesting this area twice, breaking it on the third time. So that's always bullish, right? This is definitely a trend now because you have one, two, three tries at that resistance area, and we actually broke above it. Even though we're down below it here, I do think we're gonna again eventually go past this and come up and retest the 50. Now this is sort of become our next target, the 50 cents. So the bulls are aware of that, and I do think they're going to go and try to retest this now again to try and maybe form another trend at the 50 cents mark. All right, so look out for that, guys. In the next few weeks, I do think we're going to see that materialize. All right, so that is all that I have for TA purposes. Actually, maybe I'll do this with BNB one more time. Yeah, in the mindset and um, in the honor of TA 101. I did want to show you something that's been happening with BNB, and it had worked in the past, and that's why I kind of went with it this time. And it doesn't always work. And again, it goes to say and it goes to prove that the trend is your friend till the end of the trend, right? So look at this here. This is what I was looking for when I entered my last trade on BNB, and now I'm stuck holding it because I don't. I mean, I can afford to hold it. Okay, not everybody can say the same thing, but I can afford to hold it. I've made some really good trades these past month, maybe 2 months, so I can afford to lose a little bit and be wrong a little bit. I'm not a fan of that, but I can afford it. So here's what I'm talking about. Some TA 101, right? Downtrend, downtrend. This is major resistance here. Retest it, and then break through it, and then voila, boom. You see it here happening again. All right, and this is a pattern that repeats, and I'm showing it on BNB because BNB has just played that whole this pattern like turnkey, like clockwork. I mean, down resistance, bouncing down off of it, and then boom, breaking through it. Okay, we see it again here. Same. I mean, textbook. Boom, test it, break through it. You have to. At some point, you're going to hit a local low, and look at this local low. I mean, this is on the shorter time frames too, guys. Um, so just be mindful of that. If you see, and again, I'm not a huge fan of patterns, but sometimes they do work out. And again, the trend is your friend till the end of the trend. This so far has not worked out for me. It could be the end of this trend. Who knows? We'll find out soon enough. In a few, maybe in the next week or so, we'll find out for sure. Not happening. But it could do something like this: retest it. I mean, come back down low and set not setting a lower low, but just set a pretty good retracement here, pretty good dip, and then regain its legs, come back and test it. So we could see it come back down further and then retest it, and then retest it one more time, and the third time might be the charm that breaks back out. So again, some TA 101 here. Um, what this could be helpful for you, and it could also be fun, right? Don't put too much into it. Don't risk too much. Um, it, like they say, right? The cliche saying is, don't risk more than you can afford to lose, right? So we see it many times. It did it sort of here, did it here, right here, right here. So I mean, it's just a trend, right? So All right, guys. So that's the end of the TA session here. Like I was telling you at the beginning of the video, I wanted to bring you guys some of the examples that I see out there, just people handing out bad information. And In this case, I caught this guy here. He added me on Facebook for some reason. I don't know who the guy is, but he posted this chart of supposedly cryptos that are going to be added to Binance US based exchange. And this guy seems to have a pretty sizable following, and he has these like investor groups where he pretty much tells these people, "Hey, I have this in the kind of, and I'll show you." He does this sort of thing. It just seems very scammy, very shady to me. Found this token that is less than 0.0005 USD, raising fast, can go 10x. I mean, people see this 10x. Oh man, it can go 10x, and they automatically just jump into it without doing their own research. The guy says it's got the fundamentals, blah blah blah, and if you want to know, it's a hidden gem. Hit me up on the private group. So he's probably charging these people for this information, and God knows what sort of research he's doing. But judging by this here, I can't give the guy too much credit. I can't really feel that the guy is legitimate. Or the guy is you know somebody who's looking out for your best interest. So here's the list that he supposedly got from Binance. I mean, anyone can do a chart like this and copy paste this logo into here and make it look legit. And why I say that and how am I so sure that this guy is misleading information? He's sharing this bad information. Well, here. um, Clearing up the confusion for U.S. based Binance traders and all of altcoins, right? So this is probably where this guy got the chart. It's right here, same chart. But look at what it says down here. One analyst has put together a spreadsheet that is complete with most altcoins offered by Binance, whether they are compliant with US laws and the alternative crypto platforms that offer each respective asset. Right. So this is they're getting from an analyst. Which analyst? Who is this guy? How is he vetted? What credentials does he have? What can we trust it? See what I'm saying here? Hopefully you are. So this is where the guy got the information. And look at this. This is the transcript from CZ himself. I watched the video and I did a follow up video to it right after that last week, where he says it in his own words. What will be the list of coins that are going to be available on Binance US crypto? If you see any list circulating out there, it's FUD, because the truth is that such a list is not fully decided. So don't overly rush to conclusions and don't believe in random things you see on the internet. Binance US will publish an official list as soon as it's confirmed. Who? Binance US. US. Is this Binance US? No, guys. Doesn't take a genius. But until then, there's no official source. Just assume that any list you see is FUD. Okay? Hearing it from the horse's mouth. Now, I'm going to finish off with what I'm trying to say here, and then I'll go back and show you a couple more things. You also see, so there's a lot of FUD and misinformation about Binance US platform. Um, People are saying this sort of thing, right? I bet this guy is just trying to show that he's knowledgeable and that he's somebody with inside information, and that you should follow him because he gives you tips ahead of time. That's probably what he's trying to mean here, to gather more of a following. But the truth is he's I don't know. I mean, I don't want to judge too harshly, but um, I guess he's a little quick to pull the trigger, or maybe he's naive on his own. I don't know, but this is why you should do your own research. This is why you should, follow the people who are leading the project before you listen to Joe Schmo in Facebook group telling you, "Oh, it's going to the moon. It's gonna 10x. Here's the list." Right? So, and then again, lots more misinformation. about the launch of the new U.S. based Binance exchange, which he says it here in this the transcript. You can read it, or you can go back to CZ's Twitter page and find the last AMA and you know, listen to everything that he says. This is the transcript from that last AMA. Um, so this is a great question because this also sheds a lot of light on what a lot of people are saying in regards to the Binance US exchange. So will it offer will it be fully managed by CZ or Binance? And the truth is that Binance US is run by BAM, this third party company that Binance went out and sort of hired and is collaborating with, but CZ doesn't own it, and he says it here. He's not even co-owner. Okay, he's an influencer, and he tells you this. He's giving you this information. This is something I do like about CZ. Although we didn't see this move coming, so it caught everybody off guard. But this is something I do like about ZC. He's pretty transparent with this stuff. He's letting us know he doesn't know when the U.S. based Binance is going to be launched. He doesn't know that because he's not an owner. He's only an influencer or an advisor to the board who is going to be running this. So, one, he doesn't know the date of the launch, and he doesn't have a list of the coins that are going to be launching. Why? Because again, BAM is going to do all of that. They're the ones responsible. So if you want answers as to when this is going to launch, what coins are you going to offer, go to BAM. Go ask them. They probably will know. And if they know, you can almost rest assured that CZ had some say in it. So, moral of the story is do your own research, protect yourself. It's due diligence. You should do it. That's why it's called due diligence. Um, but hopefully, you are receiving something of value from these videos in exchange for your time. I really do hope so. If there's anything I can do to bring you more value, definitely let me know in the comments. Message me. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, The Real Shot 256. Here's my channel. I do post daily content. Great stuff. I do sort it through a lot of the content that's out there and try to pick out the best stuff, the most interesting stuff for you guys to read, and so make it entertaining. Sorry, and build a good, solid community around facts and true knowledge and research and education. So, hope you guys are liking my content and my channel. Spread the word. Let people know we're here. I would love to see this community grow. To the sky's the limit on that. So, thanks guys for your time. I appreciate it. Hope you had a great weekend. It is Sunday evening. I'm gonna go and spend some time with my family. Hope you are too. We'll see you guys on the next one.